guys, welcome to the Bourbon in College podcast. I'm Austin. Let's get started. So last week, as you knew, I had finals, so I only released a very short episode with a review. So to make up for that, today I am reviewing 5 whiskeys. But first, I want to talk about bourbon or whiskey societies. Coming into this, I had no idea what a bourbon or whiskey society really was. I was under the impression that, it's kind of like a fancy, group of bourbon enthusiasts or whiskey enthusiasts that went around talking about, their favorite $200 bourbons. And, very exclusive, kind of uppity, kind of group. That was until I met one of the guys who started the Baton Rouge Bourbon Society. We just met. We talked on Instagram. 3D printed some things for him, but we just kind of talked about whiskey. And he's awesome, down to earth. Yeah, he enjoys his fancy whiskeys, but he also does reviews, and he reviews your basic Knob Creeks, your Old Scouts, things like that. Like, it's very, very down to earth. So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Still hadn't met him in person yet, or met anybody in the actual society, just the guy. And they had an event a couple weeks ago, their springtime event. It's just everyone gathered at a bar. They had a curated flight for us, or you can just get anything. This bar was awesome, by the way. The Cove, if you're ever in Baton Rouge, go check it out. Smuggler's Cove had at least 100 different bourbons or ryes and definitely scotches on the menu. It was really cool. Anyway, all met up. You can get whatever you wanted to drink. You could try the flight that everyone else was doing. You didn't have to. Awesome selection. On that flight, they had Blanton's. They had a Woodford pick. They had a Belmead, I believe it was cast strength. It was delicious. And they had Pinhook. It was all horse related with the Kentucky Derby coming up. But that was awesome. But the people was what I want to talk about. There was not one single person that I couldn't go up to. No, and I was probably the youngest person there, being the only one in college, and not being out in the working force. But there's not one person I couldn't go up there and talk to and just talk about my favorite pick of Buffalo Trace. Talk about not being able to get any Weller like anyone else. Everyone was down to earth. It was awesome. Everyone made me feel really welcome. And I felt more like I was part of a community than ever. The Instagram community, the podcast community has been awesome. Don't get me wrong. But I've never had a place where I can go in person and, be a part of that until now. And the Baton Rouge Bourbon Society, that event was great. So all this to say, if you're kind of on the fence about joining a bourbon society or a whiskey society, or you don't really know what they are, go out there and try it. More than likely, it's just going to be a bunch of people gathering up having fun. I know there's some out there that go do charity work. Some even do barrel picks. It's really different for each area, but it's just a bunch of like-minded people who like whiskey, who like bourbon. When I say like-minded, I mean, everyone has their own different opinions, but everyone likes, everyone's open to talking about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, yeah, we talked about, this guy I met. He has like 200 bottles or something plus in his collection, a lot of them being really fancy. But we talked about, he opens those, he drinks them. He's not bunkering them down unless they're rare and he has a second bottle that's already open. But he also, he picks up any Buffalo Trace he can find, any store pick or Knob Creek that he can find. Like, it's a great community. I don't know what I was scared of, what I was nervous about, but it was awesome. There was people there. One of the guys he actually helps run the LSU Art Museum. So obviously I go to LSU, my college, and I've been to that museum a couple times. I just met the guy who runs it. Talk to him about that. I'm not big into art, but he was really awesome, and the LSU Art Museum is cool. There's people who work for companies that I hope to work for when I graduate, who I've done internships with. It was a great way to make connections outside of just bourbon. Just, you have something like-minded you can all talk about. We talked about sports. We talked about life, school, work, things like that. it was just kind of an excuse to gather with people that I've never met before, you know. So I encourage you to go check out your local society, see if there's anything for you. If you don't like it, oh well. But I would at least give it a try. All right, I think I've talked about that enough. Let's get to trying some of these whiskeys. So I'm doing, as promised earlier, I'm doing a flight of 5 Balcones whiskeys. There's a single malt, there's a bourbon, there is a rye, there's 2 corn whiskeys. They're Baby Blue 100% blue corn, and they're True Blue 100% blue corn whiskey. And I'm going to give a full review of all of them, tell you what I think about it, and hopefully you can find some. I just thought it'd be interesting to, since I have so many of one distillery, that I can do I don't think it's technically a vertical, but a distillery tour, if you will. So let's see. So the first one on the docket today is their Texas Single Malt. I have a little printout. Let's see what it says. A timeless style of malt whiskey, Balcones 1 Texas Single Malt breathes new life into centuries of distilling tradition with classic techniques and ingredients adapted for new world tastes. Opening aromas bear hints of toffee and overripe fruits. On the palate, layers of toasted malt and honey give way to mellow notes of baked pears and apples. A long finish is accompanied by cinnamon and cloves. Texas made, Texas proud. We hope you enjoy the whiskey we owe our success to as much as we enjoy making it. So this is interesting. I mean, you've heard me review single malts before. I'm not a fan, especially of the American single malts. Don't get me wrong, there's some scotches I really love, but I haven't really had an American single malt that I'm too high on yet. So let's give this one a try. Now, this one, as well as the Baby Blue and the Rye, are samples I have. The reason I haven't gotten full bottles of these is I haven't really tried them yet. I know the Baby Blue and the Rye are readily available in my local stores, at least right now. Now, the bourbon I'm about to try is a full bottle I got in Texas. That is a new release. And the True Blue is very rare around here, so I picked that up while I was in Texas as well, because I hear good things about it, and I went ahead and jumped on it. So, let's see. All right, on this nose right now, I'm getting a very similar nose to the other American single malts. It's got the butterscotchiness of malt grain of barley, like you get in a scotch, but it's completely unique and different from any scotch I've had. It almost tastes like a mesquite wood. Now this is 53% ABV. So, what is that? 106 proof. A little bit higher than your normal American single malt. Those are usually around 40 to 50%. Let's see what I have on the taste. Ooh, dang. Definitely it tastes that higher proof, that's for sure. I don't know. It's definitely the same flavor that I get with the long finish. Same flavor I get on the other 3 single malts, American single malts I've tried. It's almost tastes rubbery. I don't know how to explain it, really. It's like apple, but not like green apple, not like diacetyl. But like a red apple skin. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that, really. It's a long finish. Almost get cinnamon on the finish. I definitely see that clove they're talking about. It's interesting. I hate to say if you like scotch, you like, because I don't know. I can see how somebody could like it. It's a unique taste. I don't like it, but it doesn't mean I think it's bad quality. It's not for me. I'm not a single malt person. Not a fan of that one. All right, let me drink some water and we'll go to the next one. So the next one we have is the Balcones Texas Pot Still Bourbon. It's the red label Balcones. And a little write up on that. Let's see if this is the right one. Yep. Big flavors have always been the cornerstone of our prized Texas whiskeys. The Texas pot still bourbon is no exception. Made grain to glass using a traditional pot still distillation ensures a rich and viscous spirit that stands up to aging in new charred oak without losing its essence. Each dram is full of character and body, with an aromatic entry and soft finish for an approachable yet memorable experience. Excuse me. So, this one is at 46 ABV, so 92 proof, I believe. And it's the only bourbon on here, actually traditional bourbon. And I don't know if they have any other bourbon. I haven't seen it on their list, but let's see what we have here. Oh, right off the nose, it's buttery. Like, not butterscotch, but just it's like smooth melted sweet cream butter. Ooh, it's like a cinnamon butter, like the cinnamon butter if you've ever been to Texas Roadhouse that you get with the rolls. It's making me want bread. Now, full disclosure, this is the second time I've actually tried this. I did not like it on first crack, but I did not get this nose out of it. Okay, let's see what we have on the taste. It's really smooth, and I get that kind of that cinnamon butter essence. Not as strong as I got it on the nose, but there's an overwhelming plastic note. Like ever drinking a water bottle that's been sitting in the sun for a while. That's kind of, I get that underlying flavor out of it. That's not really appealing. Nose is beautiful. Holy crap, this is a really good nose. The plastic, it's not as bad on when it first hits your tongue. That's when you get the creaminess. It's very smooth, very creamy. Cinnamon and vanilla. But there's just that underlying, a little bit of Band-Aid, but really plastic. Plastic, no, especially in the finish. That's all I get in the finish is plastic. Like cinnamon-coated plastic. I don't know. Not a fan of this either, really. Wow. I'm disappointed. Because it looks really cool. And I love the story of Balcones. But right now it's 0 for 2 for me, really. Alright, let me drink some water. Clear my palate. Okay, let's see where we're at. Now we are on to the Balcones Texas 100 proof rye. Now I hear good things about this. I'm going to give the full readout, but then I'm going to explain what I've heard. Our 100% rye mash bill began with Elbon rye with Northwest Texas, accompanied by crystal chocolate and roasted rye. Driven by constant curiosity, we distilled our rye in our copper pot stills, bringing new subtlety and perspective to our approach. Wow, got me tongue-tied. It looks cool. I hear great things about it. I hear it tastes like coffee. Now they use 4 different. You heard that right. It's 100% rye, but they use 4 different ryes. They use a Texas rye, and then a chocolate rye, which is a darker, supposed to actually give a chocolatey taste, and then a roasted rye. So to me, it sounds like rye that would go into a darker rye beer almost, but that wouldn't be 100% rye. Right away on the nose, I get that rye spice, classic rye spice on the nose. But definitely something darker. Definitely like like a chocolate cereal, like not super sweetened chocolate cereal. A little bit of underlying plastic note on the nose as well. I don't know. Maybe that's from being pot stilled, but I've had other pot stilled bourbons and pot stilled Irishes. I don't get that note on it. Let's see. It's like biting into a chocolate cake. Holy crap. That's good. Chocolate cake. A little bit grainy, maybe a little too much flour in that. I don't know. But it's chocolate. It's like regular chocolate cake without any icing on the front. And then the finish is that chocolate icing. It's almost like a dark coffee chocolate stout. For those of y'all into beer. And it makes sense because to get that chocolatey flavor, they use roasted barley. Not rye, usually barley, but same process. You roast it, get those darker flavors out of it. Oh, that's good. I'm going to have to get a bottle of that. Honestly, I was not expecting to like this one. I was expecting to like the bourbon more. I'm going to finish this glass off. Now, for all you wondering, I'm not doing full pours of each of these. I'm doing maybe a half ounce of each, and I'm, at least of the first two, I haven't even finished those half ounces. So I'm being very careful. I'm not sitting here drinking 5 whiskeys at 3 o'clock in the evening. But I did just finish that rye because that was really good. I didn't even read the ABV on it. Let's see. 50%. It's at 100 proof. It's in the name. Definitely a little stronger than that 46%. All right, let me drink some water and move on to the next one. Okay. So the next two, I'm going to go ahead and read them both out because I want to do a close A-B comparison to these. We have, first off, the Balcones Baby Blue. This is the first This is the first Texas whiskey on the market since Prohibition. Baby Blue is crafted from the roasted heirloom blue corn. This rich and oily maize adds new sophistication to the corn whiskey tradition while keeping the freshness and verve of classic American distilling. Intentionally youthful, Baby Blue captures the essence of this prized corn with a round nuttiness, roasted overtones, and refined complexity. The mouthfeel is viscous with a soft finish, a true Texas original that we are delighted to share with the world. So this one is the Baby Blue. Now, I could be wrong. I'm about to read the readout for the True Blue. But I believe the only difference in the two, I think they're both 100% baby that blue cracked corn. Or at least 100% corn, I'm pretty sure. The Baby Blue is 46%. And the True Blue rings in at 50, 100 proof. So the proof is different. And I believe the age. I believe True Blue is older. It's definitely darker. Let me read the readout for that. True Blue 100 is made from the same select barrels of our blue corn whiskey that has always gone into our True Blue cask strength, diluted down to 100 proof. As such, many bourbon drinkers in particular, bond, bottle, and bond, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that one sounds fun. So I believe it's just older. I think same mash bill. I believe it's just older and more selective barrel picks and a little higher proof. So let me pour this. This one I haven't poured yet, so let's see if we can get a good bottle pop on it. That was lame. Now this, I hear great things about this True Blue. I hear awesome things. It's corn whiskey. It's not bourbon. It again, you should know this, but a bourbon is made of at least 51% corn. Among other things, has to go into new charred oak barrel. Now these, I don't know. They're definitely not calling them bourbons. They're 100% corn. I don't know if they're not calling them bourbons because they weren't aged in new oak barrels, or they're just not calling it bourbon because they rather call it a corn whiskey. So that's really, I'm not sure. I need to do more research on that. But it's definitely not, they're not considering it a bourbon. All right, let's start with the True Blue. I'm going to compare them both on the nose. The Baby Blue first and then the True Blue. We'll compare them on the nose both and then both on the taste and then, yeah. Right off the bat, Baby Blue. Super sweet on the nose. Like a vanilla cake. Sweet, I get vanilla. Sweet corn. Like a kettle corn almost, sweetness. It smells really good, honestly. It smells like dessert. Let's see what we have True Blue. Oh. Definitely the same undertones. Definitely sweet, but it's more of a dark demerara sugar honey sweet on that nose. Not just sugary dessert. Man, they both smell really good. Definitely get more oakiness on the True Blue, so that's that age in there. That's the oaky sweet, almost like the double oak I just reviewed last week. Baby Blue's, the True Blue's a lot stronger. That's probably from the higher proof. Maybe from the oak, I don't know. You can tell they're the same whiskey, the same mash bill, just different age and proof. Let's see about the Baby Blue on the taste. Okay. So the Baby Blue, although it's not near as strong as the first two, even not as strong as the rye, it still has that plastic undertone. I don't know what that is. But it's really good. It's sweet. It's got that vanilla that you get in the nose. That round nuttiness, but it's all one note. It's all sweet corn. Here you go. With a little bit of plastic. So that plastic, I think that's... So I've never had this many whiskeys from one distillery at one time before. But there's definitely something out there, research out there done that says all distilleries have the same, it's almost like a signature in all their products, or at least in all their whiskeys. And I think that plasticky note is the Balcones signature, honestly. And in the Baby Blue and the rye, I don't mind it. It's part of the complexity. Now, all I get out of the bourbon and the single malt is that note, and I don't like it on those. All right, back to it. So I did a quick Google, and I couldn't find anything about the actual differences between True Blue and Baby Blue. Most people just speculate the age and prove it's most likely the same mash bill. All right, let's go to True Blue and the taste. That is good. I guess maybe it's just biased. I get a little bit of that plastic, but it's barely even noticeable in the True Blue. They are definitely the same basic whiskey. The True Blue, with that higher proof and that higher age, it just kicks it up 10 notches. It is phenomenal. Now, I think they're both good. I've never had, this is the only corn whiskey I've had. Never had mellow corn or anything else. So maybe that's just me, but they're completely different. They're not bourbon. I couldn't mistake this from bourbon. I compare the difference between the True Blue and the Baby Blue is the difference between Woodford Reserve and Woodford Double Oaked, honestly. Not that they're similar to those two, but that's kind of the different age, and the extra oakiness is really what kicks it up a notch for me. I want to go visit Balcones. I have family down there in that near the distillery over there. I want to go see. I want to go talk to them, see what's going on with their their thought process, because I really like their story. They're doing some good stuff. I really like their corn whiskeys, especially the True Blue, but both of them really. And that rye is also phenomenal. I'm definitely going to be picking up a bottle of the rye, probably even a bottle of the Baby Blue to go along with my bottle of the True Blue, just so I can share with other people and show the comparison. Overall, let's go down the list. The single malt is a replace for sure. The bourbon, it's a replace on taste alone, although it does look good along. That red looks good with the shades of blue on the shelf, so I'm not going to be in a hurry to get rid of it by any means. The rye is a keep. I'm going to go find it. The Baby Blue is a keep, maybe a cocktail, but I'm going to keep it a keep just because it was really good, and again, it looks good in the collection. Now, the Balcones True Blue, I want to buy it all. Every time I find it, every time I go to Texas, I'm going to pick up a bottle and bunker them, because I can't find them here in Louisiana. It is phenomenal. It is. I'll put it right up there with, like, Henry McKenna is one of my, for the price, amazing glasses of whiskey. Again, I'm not comparing them in taste. They're not similar in that regard, but it is delicious, phenomenal, oaky. And all of these, so again, this was from Houston, not in the Louisiana area, but I got the bourbon for around $30, maybe it was close to 40, and the True Blue was 40 to 50. I've seen the rye around here for in mid 40s, and that's in Louisiana. The True Blue's 20s to 30s, I believe. And the single malt, I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't really pay attention. But they're all relatively affordable. There's nothing super expensive. Now, you can get some of their single barrels or their cask strengths that get up there into the 60s and maybe 70s. But it's really affordable. It's not super expensive. So I kept that in mind when I was making my selections. Check them out. If you see some on the shelf, it's worth a try. It's unique. Every single one of these, I've never had anything like it. Try it out. Get some plastic. Maybe compare it to some melted plastic water bottles. Don't do that. That's poison. But I'm going to sit here. I'm going to finish these Baby Blue and True Blue. Keep comparing. I'm going to dump out the rest of this bourbon and the rest of this single malt, though. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, hit me up on Instagram at bourbon_n_college. Go check me out on Facebook. I'm going to push for more Facebook likes. I want to do some discussions on Facebook. So that's Bourbon in College on Facebook. It's a Facebook page. Add me as a friend. I'm Austin on Facebook, connected to the Bourbon in College. My profile picture is the Bourbon in College logo. Check me out. I'm on Twitter at InBourbon. And go check out my YouTube channel. I will post the podcast on there. Every now and then I'll update it. And I have videos coming out probably once a month, maybe more often. I'll have more time now that I'm not in school, so that'll be more traditional. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. See y'all next time. Bye. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. If you like the show, go give us a review on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Follow me on Instagram at bourbon_n_college. I'm on Twitter at InBourbon, and there's a Facebook page as well. Just search Bourbon in College. Check out my website, bourbonincollege.com. That'll have a link to anywhere you want to get the show. It'll have a link to my online store, all my social media. It's your one-stop shop for Bourbon in College. Again, thanks for listening. Want to support the show? Go check out my Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show and get some really cool perks out of that. Alright, guys. See y'all next time.